We've all made this mistake. You see someone in old sneakers, driving a 10-year-old car, wearing the same plain t-shirt they probably own in 5 colors, and you assume this person is doing okay, but nothing special. Meanwhile, someone rolls up in a brand new luxury SUV, designer everything, and you assume this person has made it. Here's the uncomfortable truth. In most cases, you've got it backwards. The people who actually have money rarely look like it. And the people who look like they have money are often the ones drowning in debt to maintain the image. Today, I'm going to walk you through 10 real signs that someone is quietly wealthy, signs that have nothing to do with what they're wearing or what they're driving. Stick around till the end, because sign number 7 is the one almost nobody talks about, and it might be the most important one on this list. Sign number 1, they drive their car until it dies, not until it's outdated. Wealthy people don't upgrade cars because a new model came out. They drive the same reliable car for 8, 10, sometimes 15 years, because a car's job is transportation, not a status update every 3 years. Meanwhile, someone financing a new car every 2 or 3 years is quietly bleeding thousands of dollars in depreciation and interest, money that could have gone into an account that actually grows. The average person sees an old car and assumes, can't afford better. In reality, that old car might be sitting in the driveway of someone with a 7-figure net worth, because they understand that a car is a liability, not a flex. Sign number 2, they rarely talk about money, but they always know exactly where theirs is going. This one surprises people. You'd think wealthy people would talk about investments and net worth constantly. Usually, it's the opposite. People who are actually building wealth tend to be quiet about it, not because they're hiding something shady, but because money, to them, isn't a personality trait. It's a tool. What you will notice, though, is that if you ever ask them a specific financial question, they know the answer immediately. They know their interest rates. They know roughly what they're spending each month. They know their investment allocations. Quiet doesn't mean unaware, it means it's handled. Sign number 3, they buy quality, but they buy it rarely. There's a difference between spending a lot on things and spending well on things. A truly wealthy person might own one really well-made jacket that lasts 15 years, instead of 5 cheap jackets that fall apart in a year each. It's not about being cheap, it's about avoiding the cycle of constantly replacing things. This is actually one of the sneakiest signs, because on the surface it can look like spending money. But if you calculate cost per year of use, it's often far cheaper than the person buying trendy, disposable versions of the same item over and over. This is a big one. A lot of people stretch themselves financially thin to buy the biggest house they can qualify for, because a big house signals success. Quietly wealthy people tend to do the opposite. They buy a home that fits their actual needs, sometimes noticeably smaller or more modest than what they could technically afford. Why? Because a house that's just right frees up massive amounts of monthly cash flow that can go toward investments instead of a mortgage payment that eats half their income. The person in the modest house making 6 figures is often in a far stronger financial position than the person in the giant house who's one missed paycheck away from trouble. Sign number 5. They don't finance small purchases. Here's a pattern you'll notice. Wealthy people almost never use buy now, pay later for everyday items. If they can't pay for something outright, in most cases, they simply don't buy it yet. This isn't about restriction for the sake of restriction. It's about avoiding the slow leak of interest and fees that come from financing things that aren't actually investments. A television, a vacation, new furniture, these are lifestyle purchases, and quietly wealthy people treat them as things you save for, not things you finance. Sign number 6, they invest consistently, even in small amounts, without waiting for the perfect time. This might be the most overlooked habit on this entire list. Quietly wealthy people don't wait until they have a large lump sum to start investing. They invest small, consistent amounts, monthly, sometimes even weekly, regardless of what the market is doing. They're not trying to time the perfect moment. They understand that consistency, over 10 or 20 years, matters far more than trying to catch the perfect entry point. This is also why they often look unremarkable in the short term. The results of consistent investing don't show up as flashy purchases. They show up as a growing number in an account nobody else can see. Sign number 7, and this is the one almost nobody talks about. They treat their own time as more valuable than saving a few dollars. This sounds like it contradicts everything else on this list, but it doesn't. Quietly wealthy people are frugal on things that don't matter, but they will happily pay for things that save them time, reduce stress, or protect their health. They'll drive an old car for years, but they won't hesitate to pay for a good mechanic instead of risking a breakdown. They'll skip the expensive vacation, but they'll pay for quality sleep, quality food, or a service that frees up hours of their week. The mistake most people make is being frugal on literally everything, including their own time and energy, which quietly costs them far more in the long run through burnout, poor health, or missed opportunities. Wealthy people are selective. They cut spending on status. They rarely cut spending on things that protect their long-term output. We've talked about this before on this channel, but it's worth repeating here because it's one of the clearest markers of quiet wealth. A properly funded emergency reserve means small life disasters, a car repair, a medical bill, a temporary job loss, never turn into a debt spiral. The person without this buffer experiences the exact same emergency, but for them, it becomes months or years of credit card interest. Same event. Completely different financial outcome. And the difference is entirely due to a boring pile of money nobody ever sees or talks about. Sign number 9. They understand the difference between net worth and income, and they optimize for the first one. A lot of people chase a bigger paycheck and assume that's the same as getting wealthier. It's not. Someone earning $200,000 a year who spends nearly all of it has a lower net worth than someone earning $70,000 a year who consistently saves and invests a portion of it. Quietly wealthy people track their net worth, assets minus debts, not just their income. They know that a high salary spent entirely on lifestyle builds nothing. A modest salary, consistently invested, builds real, compounding wealth over time. Sign number 10. They're patient in a way that looks almost boring from the outside. This is the thread that ties every single sign on this list together. Quiet wealth isn't built through one clever decision or one lucky break. It's built through years, sometimes decades, of unremarkable, repeated choices, driving the same car, buying quality rarely, investing consistently, avoiding unnecessary debt, protecting their time. None of these choices, on their own, look impressive. There's no dramatic before and after moment. But stacked together, year after year, they quietly compound into real financial security, while the people chasing the appearance of wealth are often working harder just to stay in place. So here's the real takeaway. If someone in your life looks unremarkable, plain clothes, old car, modest home, don't assume they're behind. They might be the most financially secure person you know, simply because they stopped optimizing for how they look and started optimizing for how they actually live. And if you recognized even 3 or 4 of these signs in your own habits, that's a genuinely good sign. You might be building quiet wealth already, without even realizing it. If this video helped you see money differently, hit subscribe. I break stuff like this down every week. And let me know in the comments, which one of these 10 signs surprised you the most, or which one do you already do without thinking about it?